Hello, everybody, and welcome. Welcome back. Welcome to the Unstoppable Entertainment Show, Episode 10. Episode 10. I am, of course, Nate Schaffner, otherwise known as the Unstoppable Nate. And welcome to this week's show. Hope you're doing well out there. And if you're not doing well, I hope that this show provides some respite from whatever it is you're going through in life. I know I'm having a lot of fun doing this show, and I hope you're having fun watching the show. Before we get started for this week, I just wanted to remind everybody that if you like this show, go ahead and hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and spread the word. Tell your friends. Also, if you have a topic or a question, or if you'd like me to discuss certain movies or franchises, you can email me anytime at the address listed in the description of this video. So with that down and out of the way, let's get started here, and let's get started with this. Back in 2019, there was a horror movie released called Ready or Not, which I have yet to watch. It's on my list, but it looked great to me. So I can't wait to finally watch it. Now there is going to be a sequel, aptly titled Ready or Not 2. And Catherine Newton has been added to the cast. This report is on CBR, published by John Dodge. This article says, Ready or Not 2 has added Catherine Newton to its cast in a reunion with Radio Silence, the production company responsible for the vampire horror comedy Abigail, which also featured Newton. By the way, I saw Abigail in the theater. That movie's great. It's so awesome. This article goes on to say that, per Deadline, Newton, who starred in the MCU film Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, has been added to the cast of the hotly anticipated horror sequel Ready or Not 2. Released in 2019, Ready or Not starred Samara Weaving as Grace, a woman who joins her wealthy husband's family at their sprawling estate for an evening of fun and games that soon takes a decidedly sinister turn. I'm excited for this. I really like Catherine Newton. She played. She was in, as this article states, she was in Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, which I loved. I do not understand the hate for the third Ant-Man movie. I loved it. She played Cassie in that movie. Catherine Newton played Cassie, and she was also in Abigail, like I mentioned earlier. I am eagerly anticipating this movie. The first Ready or Not was a massive hit. I think the budget for that movie was like $6 million, and it made over $50 million. So it was a monster hit for the studio. Getting someone like Catherine Newton to be in the movie, obviously she's very talented as an actress. It does not say, so I haven't seen the first Ready or Not, so I don't know whether Samara Weaving will be in. This article does point out that Samara Weaving has expressed interest in being in it, so she obviously lives. But it's, I guess what I'm trying to say is that I'm not sure whether this will be a standalone sequel to the original, or whether or not it will be related to the first movie, or whether it's going to be its own standalone thing, kind of like Smile 2 was to the first Smile. I'm just excited that we're getting a sequel to a successful horror movie, and we're evidently we might be getting a franchise out of these movies. That excites me. So jump in the comments section and let me know what your thoughts are on Ready or Not 2 and Catherine Newton being a part of it. This next bit of news has to do with the next movie in the MonsterVerse franchise. So this article is on CBR, published by Deanna Carpenter. And this article says that actor Matthew Modine, known to a generation of fans as Private JT Joker Davis from Full Metal Jacket, and another generation as Dr. Martin Brenner from Netflix's hit Stranger Things, has joined Legendary's MonsterVerse franchise. This article goes on to say that per Deadline, Modine has been cast in MonsterVerse director Grant Sputor's next feature film, which currently remains untitled. The movie serves as the follow-up to Adam Wingard's Godzilla x Kong: The New Empire. Modine's casting follows Stranger Things co-star appearing in previous MonsterVerse films. Though she's not expected to be in the next one. So this article does say that Millie Bobby Brown is not expected to be in this next MonsterVerse movie. And this next MonsterVerse movie is not titled yet. I really like Matthew Modine. I've seen him in a number of things, and I think he's great. Again, when talking about the next movie in this franchise, Godzilla, Kong, Skull Island, King of the Monsters, I just want these movies to be good. I just want these movies to be entertaining. And certainly getting an actor of the caliber of Matthew Modine involved will add more, I guess you could say, more credibility to these movies, if that's the right word I want to use. Let's be real. Again, nobody's seeing these movies for the human characters. We're all seeing them because we want to see monsters destroying stuff, But Matthew Modine is a wonderful actor. I wonder what the story is going to be, because I think in this particular case with this franchise, the title of the movie gives the hint of what the story could be. So it'll be interesting to see, what the title of this movie is going to be. Like, could we see a Son of Kong? Could we see something like that? I don't know. So what are you guys' thoughts on this? Jump in the comment section and let me know what your thoughts are about this casting news. Matthew Modine going to be in the MonsterVerse. And are you excited for the next installment of this franchise? This next piece of news, I talked a few weeks ago about the fact that there's going to be a film adaptation of Children of Blood and Bone. And there's an article here that talks about the fact that the cast has come together. They're starting to finish up casting for the movie, This article is on Deadline, published by Rosie Cordero. And this article says that Paramount Pictures' Children of Blood and Bone, based on the NY Times best-selling novel of the same name by Tomi Adeyemi, rounds out its cast with Sania Sidney from Fences, Zachary Momo from Harriet, Richard Mofdamiho from Namaste Wahala, Era Star, Pamilaran Ayodei from Mikolo, Shams Garuba from Crime and Justice Lagos. Let's see, who else? Kola Bodunde from Shadow, and Temi Fagbenel. Ayodehi and Garuba were cast through an open casting call in Nigeria. So it looks like this cast has finally come together. It seems like they're done casting. I would love to see this movie be good. I've always talked about the fact that we need good science fiction, fantasy, and horror book to film adaptations. I think we need more of them, and I think that we need more of them to be good. Children of Blood and Bone that series is enormously successful. So I'm sure that the fan base is eagerly anticipating this adaptation, and everybody wants it to be good. I don't really have much more to offer because, quite honestly, I'm not familiar with much of the cast that I just mentioned specifically, except Zachary Momo, who was in Harriet. I'm familiar with him just a little bit. I hope it's good. There's been previously announced cast. Viola Davis and Idris Elba and Lashana Lynch and Regina King, Chiwetel Ejiofor. It looks like this is going to be a great cast, and hopefully the movie is good. So jump in the comment section and let me know about what you think about this cast coming together for the film adaptation of Children of Blood and Bone. All right, let's see. Next up is this piece of news. So there is going to be a film adaptation of, I want to make sure I get this right. There's going to be a film adaptation of Wuthering Heights, the novel by Emily Bronte, I think that's how you say it. So there's going to be a film adaptation of Wuthering Heights from director Emerald Fennell, who directed Saltburn and Promising Young Woman. And which I've heard both are great. And there's an article on Screen Rant here, published by Hannah Gearin, that goes into detail about the casting for Wuthering Heights, the film adaptation. So, Jacob Elordi and Margot Robbie are going to be in the movie. Jacob Elordi is going to play Heathcliff, and Margot Robbie is going to play Cathy. Now, the most recent casting news this week has to do with casting regarding the younger versions of these characters. So Owen Cooper and Owen Cooper is going to play the younger version of Heathcliff, and Charlotte Mellington will play a younger version of Cathy. Let's see here. So this article says, Wuthering Heights has officially cast its actors to play young versions of its stars. An adaptation of the Emily Bronte novel of the same name, Wuthering Heights is the third directorial feature film from Emerald Fennell, whose previous work includes Saltburn and Promising Young Woman. She will continue her collaboration with Jacob Elordi, who played Felix in Saltburn. The director will work with Margot Robbie as an actor for the first time after the Oscar nominee previously served as a producer on her films. Other actors include The Whale's Hong Chow, Star Trek Discovery's Shazad Latif, and Saltburn's Alison Oliver. Now, this article does also point out that Hong Chow will play Nellie Dean in the movie. So Owen Cooper made his debut performance in this series on Netflix called Adolescence. Let's see. Charlotte Mellington, she played Lavender in the West End production of Matilda the musical. I'm going to be honest. I have no. I'm not too familiar with this cast here, but I'm not familiar with the actors who are playing the younger versions of the character. For me, I'm looking forward to this because of the involvement of Margot Robbie. I think she's a great actress, and she's also been doing some incredible work as a producer. And, doing a film adaptation of Wuthering Heights, which is an incredibly popular novel, that I think you're going to attract a certain audience with that. I'm looking forward to this. I'm looking to see this younger cast because I'm looking forward to see what they bring to this movie, because if the movie is good and if it's successful, this could be a turning point in their careers. And everybody's always looking for the next breakout stars, the next actors which actress or actor's career am I going to follow next? You know what I mean? So this is I'm looking forward to this movie. I hope it's good, and I hope it does the book justice in the eyes of the fans. So jump in the comment section and let me know what your guys' thoughts are on Wuthering Heights being adapted, and what do you think about the cast? This next piece of news here has even more casting for Scream 7. Now, what's different about this casting is that so recently I've talked about the fact that there are a lot of actors from previous installments of the Scream franchise are returning. What I'm about to talk about is new casting. Like these are new characters, new actors, new actresses getting involved. So this article is on Deadline, published by Justin Kroll. And this article says that Spyglass Media Group and Paramount's Scream 7 is continuing to build on its already impressive ensemble, as sources tell Deadline Michelle Randolph and Jimmy Tatro have joined the cast. Paramount is releasing the seventh quill. I didn't even know that was a word. Paramount is releasing the seventh quill, just like it did with the last two movies. This one comes out on February 27th, 2026. Kevin Williamson, the architect of the Scream franchise, who wrote the original Wes Craven-directed 1996 title, is directing. Guy Busick, scribe of 2022's Scream and Scream 6, is penning the screenplay. Producers are Project X Entertainment's James Vanderbilt, William Schirach, and Paul Neinstein. Randolph, this article does go on to say that Michelle Randolph is coming off her breakout role in Landman. She plays the daughter of the Billy Bob Thornton character. I don't know his character's name because I haven't watched Landman, but Randolph is on that show. So I'm not too familiar with. I'm not familiar with Jimmy Tatro though. It says that this article does say that he's known for his starring roles in The Real Bros of Simi Valley and Home Economics. And he's in that Amazon Studios movie You're Cordially Invited with Will Ferrell and Reese Witherspoon. So I'm not too familiar with Jimmy Tatro or Michelle Randolph, but what gets me excited is this. I am very interested to see how, because this is, if you look at the cast of Scream 7, the cast is huge, right? And I'm very interested to see how the cast of characters from previous installments of this franchise, who we thought were dead, I'm very interested to see how they interact with these new actors coming in. Who knows? Maybe one of them is just going to be in the first 5 minutes and then get killed off. We don't know, but I hope. I'm almost getting worried about the size of the cast, because I'm almost saying it's too crowded. Maybe. I don't know. I mean, who knows what they're going to do with this movie? It may not feel crowded. It may not feel like they're putting too many characters in this movie. I just want to see what this movie's going to be. You know, like what kind of story are they going to tell? So jump in the comments section and let me know what you guys think about this piece of casting news. This next piece of casting news has to do with the Green Lantern series titled Lanterns, that is going to be part of the James Gunn and Peter Safran DCU reinvention. We had the Superman movie coming later this year, and then there was Creature Commandos, and there's going to be a Green Lantern series. So this article is on CBR, published by Sam Fang. And this article says HBO has cast And Just Like That star Nicole Ari Parker in its upcoming DCU Lanterns series. Parker will play John Stewart's mother, Bernadette, That's interesting. That's pretty cool. This article goes on to say that Variety broke the news of Parker's casting, with her character of Bernadette being described as, quote, formidable and tenacious, unquote. A character description adds, Bernadette refuses to give up, no matter how insurmountable the odds. At her core, she's a fiercely protective mother who has worked her entire life to ensure that she and her family will not be passed over. A release date for HBO's Lanterns has not been announced at this time, but is planned for release in 2026. So, Nicole Ari Parker is going to play John Stewart's mother, and John Stewart is going to be played by Aaron Pierre. Now, Hal Jordan is going to be in the show as well, the character of Hal Jordan. Hal Jordan and John Stewart are probably the two most famous Green Lanterns, I think it's safe to say. I'm interested to see... It will be interesting to see how much of a role Nicole Ari Parker will have in the show. You know, playing the mother of John Stewart. I'm interested to see what the character dynamic will be there. You know, is she going to be... Will she have any scenes with Kyle Chandler, who plays Hal Jordan? You know, how is that dynamic going to work? Are we just going to see her with scenes being a mother to John Stewart? You know, I'm very interested to see how involved she's going to be in the show and what the character dynamic is going to be. You know, I'm very excited for this show. And it'll be nice to see. It'll be great to see Green Lantern, that character be done justice. It'll be great to see that. So jump in the comment section and let me know what you guys think about John Stewart's mother, Bernadette, being played by Nicole Ari Parker. What do you guys think about that? Jump in the comment section and let me know. This next piece of news has to do with two of my favorite actors. This article is on The Hollywood Reporter, published by Boris Kitt. And this article says that Steve Buscemi has joined the high-flying cast of Wild Horse 9, a Searchlight feature being directed by Martin McDonagh. It is the filmmaker's first feature since his acclaimed The Banshees of Inisherin, which got some Oscar nominations, if I remember correctly. So this article goes on to say that Sam Rockwell, who starred in McDonagh's Three Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri, which got Oscar nominations as well, and Sam Rockwell won the Oscar for supporting actor for that movie. So anyway, Sam Rockwell, who starred in McDonagh's Three Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri, as well as John Malkovich and Parker Posey, are already in the saddle for the dark comedic drama that begins shooting later this month in Rapa Nui, also known as Easter Island. This article continues, plot and character details are being kept under wraps, but it is extremely rare that a production, let alone an American or British one, shoots on the island, which lies 3,700 kilometers off the coast of Chile and is one of the most remote inhabited islands on Earth. This is... I love this. This is great. I am a huge fan of Steve Buscemi. I think he is an actor that can display incredible range, being, going from drama to comedy. he can do anything, and I'm a huge fan of Sam Rockwell. I actually the first movie I saw Sam Rockwell in was Matchstick Men, where he co-starred alongside Nicolas Cage, and it was directed by Ridley Scott. And that movie is great, and it's so well written and so well acted, and Sam Rockwell is so good in that movie. There's a scene in the movie where we see Sam Rockwell's character wearing a cowboy hat, and Nicolas Cage's character kind of comments like, "What are you doing with the cowboy hat?" And it's funny, and he's obviously an Oscar-winning actor, and so I unfortunately, because there aren't any plot details given about this movie, I don't have much to comment on that. But filming on Easter Island, that's pretty cool, and Steve Buscemi and Sam Rockwell, and John Malkovich and Parker Posey. I mean, come on, that's an irresistible cast. And I also think, given Martin McDonagh's filmography, both with Three Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri, and Banshees of Inisherin, both Oscar-nominated, Oscar-winning films, I think we could have another one on our hands with this movie. Again, this is one of those occasions where you have my attention just simply based on the cast alone. I'm really looking forward to this. So jump in the comment section and let me know what your thoughts are on Steve Buscemi and Sam Rockwell being in a movie together. I think that's going to be a lot of fun to watch. So jump in the comment section and let me know what you guys think about this. So this next article has to do with an upcoming romantic comedy. Now, there are some people out there that might say, Nate, what are you doing talking about romantic comedy? And my response to that would be this: I maintain that a good romantic comedy can be a lot of fun to watch. There are a lot of bad ones, but I think good rom-coms are great date movies, so that is what I have to say about the romantic comedy genre. Anyway, this article is on Variety, published by Nick Vivarelli. And this article says that Stephen Dorff, Radha Mitchell, and Italy's Cristiana Capodanti are set to star in indie rom-com No Place Like Rome from U.S.-based Italian director Cecilia Miniucci. I think that's how you pronounce it. This article does say that shooting has just started in Rome on the U.S.-Italy co-production, which revolves around an emotionally fraught American photographer named Connor, played by Stephen Dorff, who travels to the Eternal City from New York during the Christmas holidays for a combination of work and vacation. His teenage son is supposed to join him in Rome, but after he changes plans, Connor, who still has ties to his ex-wife, played by Radha Mitchell, intersects with an attractive and extroverted Italian museum curator, played by Capodanti, according to the provided synopsis. After she guides him to take some pictures off the beaten path, Connor decides to stay for the duration of the festivities. Together, they will discover hidden aspects of the Eternal City and perhaps even something more. Okay, so it sounds... Part of this sounds like your typical romantic comedy that, provided it's well written and well acted, like I said, could be enjoyable to watch. I first saw Radha Mitchell in there was a movie that came out in 2004 starring Denzel Washington called Man on Fire. And Radha Mitchell was in that movie. She was played kind of a supporting role in that movie, and she was wonderful in that movie. Stephen Dorff, I like. He played Deacon Frost in the original Blade movie starring Wesley Snipes. He's kind of had an up and down career, in my opinion. But I will say it's good to see him getting work. I like him. I think he's underrated as an actor. And who knows? This could be another one that goes. How do I want to say it? This could if this does well and is received well, hopefully this will lead to him getting more work. I've always liked him. So this sounds good. Hopefully it's well written, and I always it does. This article does mention that it's an indie rom-com. I like to see independent films be successful. This past Oscar season, we had a lot of independent films get nominated and win Oscars, and I mean that's a big deal. It was great to see not just mainstream movies get awards recognition. And maybe this could be one of them. Who knows? We'll see. So jump in the comment section. Let me know what you think about this upcoming romantic comedy here. This next piece of news, unfortunately, has to do with a movie being delayed. So there is a movie coming starring Margot Robbie and Colin Farrell called A Big, Bold, Beautiful Journey. And it was supposed to come out in May of this year and has been delayed. This article is on Variety, published by Cathy Steffen. This article says, moviegoers will have to wait a little longer for the Margot Robbie and Colin Farrell-led romantic fantasy A Big, Bold, Beautiful Journey, as Sony has shifted the film's domestic theatrical release from May 9th to September 19th. Now, before I continue here, a lot of times when movies get delayed, we don't really know why, and it's, at least for me, it's frustrating when movies when there's no reason given, because I just want everything to come out on its original date. However, this article does point out the reason behind its delay. So I'm going to continue here. This article continues. Sources close to production tell Variety that a September release was more appealing to the studio, as it's filled with more horror and male-centered titles, allowing the female event film to stand out. This article continues. A Big, Bold, Beautiful Journey is described as an imaginative tale of two strangers and the extraordinary emotional journey that connects them. This article does continue to say that who's directing? This article does say the film is directed by Kogonada, who also helmed the TV series Pachinko and the sci-fi drama After Yang. The Menu scribe Seth Rice penned the script. I loved The Menu. It has Anya Taylor-Joy, Ralph Fiennes, I think Nicholas Hoult, if I remember correctly. I love that movie. It was one of my favorite movies that came out that year. It's kind of this dark comedy, and it's great. It's so good. So the reasoning behind this delay kind of makes sense to me. Like this article points out, you have horror and male-centered movies coming out, and it sounds, like this could be more of a 4-quadrant movie. Kind of it says romantic fantasy, and you have Colin Farrell and Margot Robbie in it. So what's not to love about that? So you will have this 4-quadrant movie competing with more horror and male-centered titles, and a romantic fantasy that sounds really cool to me. Two strangers and the extraordinary emotional journey that connects them. That sounds good to me. It sounds like a good date movie. I love these kinds of movies. So I mean it sucks that it's getting delayed, but I understand why. So jump in the comment section and let me know what you guys think about this movie, and is it something that you'd be interested in? Jump in the comment section and let me know your thoughts about this. So this next piece of news, excuse me, I've talked about recently that there's going to be a Legally Blonde prequel series titled Elle, as in Elle Woods. And this next piece of news has to do with that series. This article is on Variety, published by Ethan Shanfield. And this article says that Elle, the Legally Blonde prequel series, has found Elle's mom. June Diane Raphael has joined the Amazon Prime Video project as Ava, joining the previously announced Lexi Mindtree as Elle. The series follows a younger Elle Woods, who was played by Reese Witherspoon in the 2 Legally Blonde films, finding her footing in high school. Let me see here. This article goes on to say that Raphael is best known for playing Brianna Hansen across 7 seasons of Grace and Frankie, and Julie Gristlewhite on Burning Love. Her TV credits also include New Girl, Big Mouth, Based on a True Story, Abbott Elementary, Frasier, Black Monday, Curb Your Enthusiasm, and Parks and Recreation. On the film side, she's appeared in Forgetting Sarah Marshall, Year One, Blockers, and Long Shot. She'll next be seen in Barbarian director Zach Cregger's next film, Weapons. Okay, so it kind of makes sense that Elle Woods' mom is going to be in this movie, considering that I'm sorry, she's going to be in this TV series, not movie, because Elle Woods is going to be in high school. What will be interesting to see is what kind of an impact Elle Woods' mom has on a young Elle Woods, and what kind of role she will play in Elle Woods' life. how she helped mold the character of Elle Woods into what we know her from in the movies. June Diane Raphael is obviously an accomplished actress. She's been in both film and television. And it'll be interesting to see that the dynamic between a young Elle Woods and her mom, will we see Elle Woods evolve into the character we know her from, played by Reese Witherspoon, and how that dynamic will play out, between her and her mom, it'll all be interesting to see, and I'm looking forward to this show. So there you have that. So jump in the comments section and let me know what you guys think about Elle Woods' mom playing a role in a Legally Blonde prequel series. This next piece of news is really exciting, at least for me. So Jet Li is, I guess you don't want to use the phrase coming out of retirement, because I don't think he ever retired, but he is returning to film. So this article is on MovieWeb, published by Jonathan Fugue. And this article says, an action icon is all set to return to screens after being away for 5 years. Despite announcing his retirement, so he did retire, okay. So, despite announcing his retirement, the martial arts legend and star of such action classics as Once Upon a Time in China, Fist of Legend, Kiss of the Dragon, Fearless, the Expendables franchise, and many, many more, Jet Li is all set to once again demonstrate his particular set of skills in the upcoming live-action adaptation of the comic Blades of the Guardians. This article continues, after rumors began circulating, it has now been confirmed by Chinese entertainment news that Jet Li will make a triumphant return to screens in Blades of the Guardians, which will adapt the Chinese manhwa Biao Ren, which in turn was given the anime treatment in 2023. Not only will the historical fantasy martial arts action movie feature Li's return, it is also being helmed by renowned Hong Kong filmmaker and action choreographer Yuan Wu Ping, who is best known for the likes of Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, Kung Fu Hustle, Fearless, and many more. Jet Li's coming back. How cool is that? At the age of 62, after 5 years. Let's see here. This article does continue to say, released in 2015 and written and illustrated by Zhangji Zhu, Biao Ren, aka Blades of the Guardians, takes place in 607 AD and centers on highly skilled escorts, or warriors for hire, who are often tasked with protecting those targeted by the government. Living under the rule of the evil Emperor Yang Guang of the Sui Dynasty, the story follows an escort who, while traveling with his 3-year-old son, takes a protection job that slowly reveals itself to be part of a conspiracy that could change history. Come on. That sounds cool. I've always liked Jet Li. Unfortunately, I've always liked him. I've always liked watching him. It's just that sometimes the material that he's in isn't all that good. Lethal Weapon 4 was his big breakout as far as American movies are concerned. And he was awesome in Lethal Weapon 4. Oh my God. He was in the third Mummy movie with Brendan Fraser, which wasn't great. One of the problems I had with that movie, Jet Li plays the villain in that movie, and one of the problems I had with that movie is that I don't believe for a second that Brendan Fraser could whip Jet Li's butt. I don't believe that for a hot minute. There was another movie that he was in called The One, which another one is not. That one ain't that good either. But he's always awesome to watch. I mean, and obviously seeing him in the Expendables movies, he can still go, man. He's still got it. And this sounds kind of like the perfect project for Jet Li. It'll be interesting to see what kind of action he'll do. I'm a fan. I've always liked Jet Li, and him being in an adaptation of a Chinese comic book. That's really cool. Hopefully this will be good, and hopefully it'll be more like Kiss of the Dragon than The One. Hopefully it'll be awesome. You have Ewan Wu Ping, who did Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, which is great. But Jet Li's always awesome. And again, this sounds like the perfect project, and I'm very excited to see him return. Jump in the comment section and let me know what you think about Jet Li returning to film and returning to kick more butt, in this comic book adaptation. All right, one more piece of news here. One last piece of news, and that's this. There's an article on Screen Rant published by Adam Bentz, and it has to do with an upcoming Martin Scorsese project. Martin Scorsese is developing what he wants to do next. This article is published by Adam Bentz on Screen Rant. Martin Scorsese and Apple are reportedly adapting the Gilead novels, with Leonardo DiCaprio attached to star. The legendary director teamed up with Apple for his latest film, Killers of the Flower Moon, which starred DiCaprio in the lead role and was nominated for 10 Academy Awards, including Best Picture and Best Director. The article goes on to say that now another project has been added to that list. Per Publishers Weekly, Apple Original Films has reportedly struck a deal, to develop Mary Lynn Robinson's Gilead novels, with Martin Scorsese attached to write, direct, and produce, and Leonardo DiCaprio attached to star, starting with Home, the second of 4 novels in the series. There are no details on the plans to adapt the remaining novels. Interesting. So I find it interesting that Martin Scorsese is reteaming with Apple Original Films. I say it's interesting because I don't know whether it will go straight to Apple TV Plus or be released in theaters, like with Killers of the Flower Moon. What can be said about Martin Scorsese that hasn't already been said? He's one of the great filmmakers of our time. Leonardo DiCaprio, I'll see anything that he's involved in. I mean, I think he's great. Again, what can you say that hasn't been said? He's great. It's interesting that they're starting with the second novel, and that there are no details on plans to adapt the remaining novels. So that's interesting. Look, I haven't. I'm not familiar with the books. I haven't read them. But I don't. This it's questionable to me. Like, why are you doing the second novel and you're not planning? There are no details on the plans to adapt the remaining novels, so they might do them and they might not. What kind of story are you going to tell then? That's interesting to me. You know, at least for me, all I can say is this. You know, Martin Scorsese teaming with Leonardo DiCaprio again. These are two names that immediately have my attention. You know, you're gonna get my money. You, um, uh, Martin Scorsese. I have a very dear friend of mine, Hannah Sutter, who once said that um, uh, Martin every who I'm paraphrasing, but she said that everyone knows the name Martin Scorsese because of the films he's made. And uh, he's a legend. What's interesting, you know, what's also interesting about this is that Martin Scorsese always has quite a few projects in development. And I have a feeling that at least right now, it doesn't seem like he's slowing down anytime soon, which is funny because he's 82 years old. I think he may I think he may be like Clint Eastwood and just retire directing movies. Like he you know, like I don't think he'll ever retire, quite honestly. And with his track record, you know, why would he retire? Um, Again, this is interesting to me. You have two names who immediately grab my attention. I hope this plays in theaters and doesn't go straight to Apple TV Plus. I hope that happens. I missed Killers of the Flower Moon. I haven't watched it yet. I've heard mixed things about it, to be honest. Um, but you know, again, this has my attention. Um, so jump in the comment section and let me know uh, what you guys think about Martin Scorsese teaming with Leonardo DiCaprio once again. What do you guys think about that? All right, well, that'll about do it for this week. You know, I hope everyone's doing okay. I hope you like the show. I'm certainly having fun doing it. And I will be back next week to talk about even more entertainment news. Until then, if you like what you see and like what you hear, go ahead and hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and spread the word and tell your friends. And if you have a comment or a question, or if you just like me, if you would just like to hear me perhaps pontificate on certain movies or franchises, you can email me anytime at the address in this listed in the description of this video. So I'll see you next week, and as always, I will see you at the movies.